This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Hi, it's Dave here. This is my wife, Kathy.
Hello.
This is the Cinemile. It's the podcast where we walk or sometimes drive home from the movies. Today, we're driving into Cork City for the Cork International Film Festival. It's the 70th one this year.
So cool. This is the oldest film festival in Ireland and biggest. Started in 1956. It launched.
Well done, good maths there.
Thank you. Launched a couple of nights ago. We saw Saipan. We will be reviewing that in the future, but it hasn't come out yet, so you won't hear us talking about it yet. But tonight we're going to see Blue Moon, the new Richard Linklater. Can't wait for this one.
Yes. Now, the last Richard Linklater film we saw, I thought was terrible. It was Hitman. Do you remember that?
Oh,
with Glenn Close.
I forgot he made that.
You weren't a huge fan either. But that was... Go on.
I didn't mind it, but it was very much like a TV movie. I completely forgot he made that.
It's one of those movies that, like, you know, when you're just not on the same wavelength as the discourse at all. People loved that movie, and a lot of our patrons loved it, and it just did not work for me. I hated it a lot.
I liked it more than you.
And you did. And it's rare to be out of step with Richard Linklater, who's a filmmaker who I have a lot of time for. He's made some real classic stuff. He's always experimental, very dialogue heavy, very emotional, and very big long time collaborator with Ethan Hawke, who's in this movie, which is a good sign, I think.
I think so
More
too.
Ethan, less Glenn for me.
Yeah, absolutely. No problem with Glenn, but just in terms of the films he's made with both.
Yeah. So Ethan Hawke, Andrew Scott. It's this kind of I think a small moment in the story of Rodgers and Hammerstein, the famous musical writers, composers, who I know very little about, I've got to say.
But I do love films about music and about theatre, so I'm really looking forward to this one. I've even avoided a trailer. Like, I love Andrew Scott as well. As soon as I saw it in the festival guide, like, I knew I wanted to see it. And it's actually out next week, so it's already been out in the States. It's out next week in Ireland, so this review's coming in kind of right on time, which suits us. Yeah,
and Richard Linklater is one of those directors who you just show up for him. So I'm not like you. I'm avoiding the trailers. I don't need to know too much. I know I'm in safe hands here.
Absolutely.
I don't know what else to say really. I don't.
Just that there's no better way to watch films than I think at a film festival. It's such a shared event. Like, this is my third night in a row going to the festival now, and there's just such a lovely vibe, and everyone's there because they love movies, and it's just a different feeling, you know. Like, we're going to watch it in the Everyman Theatre. We're not going to watch it in the cinema. So I can't wait, and we'll be back after we've watched it on the drive home.
Right, see you soon.
Bye.
I need a drink.
Big smile.
We write together for a quarter of a century, and the first show he writes with someone else is gonna be the biggest hit he ever had. Am I bitter, Larry? Yes.
For over 20 years, Hart and his partner Richard Rodgers created a string of hits.
I want 10 copies of that.
Write me a check.
Such as My Funny Valentine, The Lady is a Tramp, and Blue Moon.
Your work is brilliant. That's not the problem.
No, I'm not drinking with you, Larry. They should put my picture on that bottle. The whiskey that made Lorenz Hart unemployable. I think we should be dreaming about new Rodgers and Hart, something people haven't seen before, something big.
We have to work like professionals, Larry. It's a business. That's all.
Hi, we're back. We are back in the car, and we have seen the movie Blue Moon. If it's your first time here at the Cinemile, we don't spoil anything until we turn onto Spoiler Street, which will be clearly indicated when you hear the indicator noise. Kathy, what do you think of Blue Moon?
It was so not what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I don't know, but I wasn't expecting like a set piece where everything is one day in one place. It was essentially like a play. So first of all, I wasn't expecting that. So really cool to be watching a film like that, like in a theatre, in the beautiful Everyman Theatre in Cork.
About theatre?
About theatre, yeah, about musical theatre. I mean, Ethan Hawke is just phenomenal in this film. Cliche to say, but he does disappear into the role. We got some really interesting kind of behind the scenes afterwards, because Simon Delaney, the Irish actor in it, did a Q&A on stage after, so we'll talk about some of that, which was brilliant because it's the kind of film you watch and then you immediately want to know about.
And he plays Oscar Hammerstein in the movie.
So it was really interesting to listen to him, and like you did at the beginning feel like, God, there's trickery happening. Like Ethan Hawke, he's playing a character who's 5 foot and he's 5'10", so there's like really interesting set trickery happening. It didn't feel cinematic. It felt like theatre, and I mean that as a compliment. And I found the story to be very interesting. I found the character to be quite heartbreaking and also like incessantly annoying, and I think Ethan Hawke did that really well. And the surrounding cast, like Margaret Qualley and like Andrew Scott and Simon Delaney, everyone was really good in it. And it's very different, to be honest. I've not really seen a film like this in a long time. Dave, what do you think about it?
I loved it. It's brilliant. It's absolutely electric. It's one of those movies where, like, it's all script and dialogue and actors, and there's nothing else to say about the movie.
Yeah.
That's what it is. And it's one of those ones, while I was watching it, when for the brief few moments where I wasn't just caught up with this character, Larry Hart, who's Ethan Hawke's character, who, I mean, we said going in, and we knew little about this, we said it's about Rogers and Hammerstein. It's not about them. If for anyone who doesn't know, it's about Rogers' previous writing partner, who was this guy Lorenz Hart, who they worked together with for 20 plus years and wrote just banger after banger of songs, including Blue Moon,
which is still, I think,
My
Blue
Funny
Moon,
Valentine.
Like Blue Moon is like one of the most beautiful songs ever written. Like My Funny Valentine, like absolutely iconic piece of music.
And the movie weaves them in. Like this guy was a legend, and it's set on the night that Oklahoma, the musical, opens, which is the first musical written by Rodgers and Hammerstein, the first time that he's, and it's just a huge hit.
It's
so
like going to your ex's wedding.
Yeah, exactly.
Their amazing new partner.
Exactly it. So you're in the shoes. You spend every waking minute of this movie with this man, Larry Hart, trying to grapple with the fact that, you know, the only writing partner he's ever had has moved on from him and had the biggest hit of his career.
Yeah, and we see him like get out and walk out of Oklahoma because he just can't bear to watch it.
Yeah.
And he's slagging off that it has the exclamation mark. Like, he's trying so hard to belittle it, but he knows it's a hit. And it's also that the artist in him can't bear it, you know? Because of course he's very critical of it as well.
He's very critical, but he's very snide. He's a character, and it's written by Robert Kaplow, who's a name I don't know, but this script is just remarkable. The way with words that Robert Kaplow has here, and that he puts into this man Larry Hart's mouth, like. It's based on, it says, it's rare to see it screenplay by, and then underneath it said based on letters between Lorenz Hart and his sort of 20-year-old protege / sort of unrequited love interest played by Margaret Qualley in this movie. So it smacks, obviously this is largely fictionalized, but the night happened, it's all set in this barn, this one night, the night happened, everyone was there, and it is based on the correspondence between these two. So I feel like he's probably done a good job of capturing the tone of this man, as has Ethan Hawke, and the how verbose he is, how witty he is, how quick he is, how
self-centered he is.
Self-centered, but he's also fascinated with beauty in kind of a beautiful way, but he's also a bit kind of lecherous, and he's an alcoholic, and there's this, you only ever see him in these moments where he's lovely and charming, and then when he's on screen with Andrew Scott, who plays Dick Rogers, there is this they are so good together, because there is this compassion and this warmth and this affection based on 20 years of a working relationship that was very successful, but also just this sadness because it's all exploded. You get this hints of why this man is a kind of a disaster, why they broke up.
We don't even need the Andrew Scott scenes though, because we can already, like, he's such a narcissist, like he only talks about himself.
Yeah.
he's like, it's particularly how he kind of speaks to the young pianist and in the bathroom. And like, he's like deranged at this point in the bathroom, Ethan Hawke, and the young pianist eventually just leaves the room.
Yeah.
And it takes him a minute to even realise, because he's just talking into the mirror about himself.
He's repeating the same story.
Like, I don't want to get into spoiler stuff here, because like this true life events that we're going to reference, and like I believe many of our listeners like us will have been completely ignorant of this story. Maybe you're not.
Well, we're not musical theatre people. We should say that. Really.
Well, I love musical theatre, but I'm not somebody who's like a historian in it. And also, like, I know Blue Moon, of course, and I know My Funny Valentine, but I didn't actually know about the man. So I think we should save the kind of like the specific incidences of it for Spoiler Street.
Yeah. Before we get to Spoiler Street, though, I agree, we will. The point I was trying to make before I went off on a wild tangent was the hero of this film is, I mean, Ethan Hawke is incredible, and he should win an Oscar. He's amazing.
He's so good. I was actually like smiling watching him.
This is like, but I've seen him in a lot of things, and he's always remarkable. But I think this is one of the best performances I've ever seen him in, because he's so different. He's so transformed. I didn't for a second see Ethan Hawke up there.
No, at some point I thought he looked like Josh Brolin, actually, the way, just in profile. But it's also funny that like Ethan Hawke is like a sexy movie star, and that ain't what we're getting in this film, you know. Well,
Simon Delaney told a story in the Q&A afterwards, which was, you know, when he was asked how did the movie all come about, and I thought this was really interesting. So they had this script something like 15 years ago, and Richard Linklater sent it to Ethan Hawke. He said, I love this, I want to do it. Let's do it. And Richard Linklater says, not just yet, you know, you're not ready. And, you know, 2 years would go by, every 18 months to 24 months, like, apparently Ethan Hawke would call Richard Linklater and say, can we do Blue Moon now? And
especially because Ethan Hawke wasn't that busy, you know. They were making Boyhood, but like we hadn't seen it yet, you know.
I know, but like, this is what I love about Richard Linklater is the patience of this man. Like, doing Boyhood over decades, like, he's just like, he has such a long like vision for things. I love this. Like, he was just sitting on this for 15 years. This incredible script that they all want to do, and he's like, no, not just yet. And it keeps going and going. There's years go by, and eventually, again, according to Simon Delaney, Ethan Hawke says to him, "Why am I not ready? Like, what do you want from me?" And Richard Linklater says, "We need to wait till women no longer want to sleep with you."
Now, I think that is a bit of a joke, because I promise you, women still want to sleep with Ethan Hawke.
Yeah, exactly. I think it is a joke.
He's very done up here, like with the toupee and everything.
But there's a great punchline here to this, because then one night, like 2 years ago, he goes on Letterman or something, or I don't know. He said it was a late night show, and Ethan Hawke was apparently like, long day of shooting, looked really ragged and down, and then he gets back to his to his home that night, and he gets a call from Richard Linklater, and he says, "It's time.
You're ready. You're minging now." I love that. That was really funny.
But Richard Linklater, what I love about him as well is that no two movie he does are the same.
I cannot believe
he's
brought Hitman out and then this.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. But that's why he's such an interesting director, in that he's quiet and patient, and he's not showy. He's not a Wes Anderson auteur type where you're like, you can just spot a Richard Linklater movie.
Yeah.
Like, if you showed me this and never told me his name, I'd have never.
There's one way to spot a Richard Linklater movie, though.
Ethan Hawke's in it.
Yeah.
But
do you know who he's?
But I admire him for that. He just steps aside, and Simon Delaney said it as well. He said he just kind of stepped aside and let them do their thing, and they did.
And you know who he's making the next Boyhood type thing with?
No, I don't.
Paul Mescal.
Oh,
cannot
didn't know that. Very
wait.
cool.
Yeah, I'm sure. I have no doubt Ethan Hawke will show up in it.
When you say Boyhood type thing, like they're filming it'll be out 30 years from now.
Yeah,
Can't
wait. But a lot of the stuff, and again, this isn't spoiler stuff now. He was talking about Simon Delaney was talking about like the production of it and how they rehearsed for 15 days, and then how they sorry, they rehearsed for something like 15 days and shot for something like 10 days, or vice versa. No, they shot for 15 days.
15,
yeah. Which is unbelievable for a feature film, right?
And they did it in chronological order.
Order, so they just did it every day, like they followed the script. And it felt, when I was watching it, I was like, I swear they could have filmed this in a day. I know that's not possible, but it really felt like we were just watching a night unfold in front of us. And they had all this really amazing trickery of, like, they dug trenches for Ethan Hawke so that when he walked along he was shorter than everyone else, and then they had like slanted seats so that when he was sitting, like, the table looked higher against him.
It's very convincing.
Because I guess the guy being 5 foot is fairly unusual, because at the beginning I was like, why are they going to so much lengths to try and make Ethan Hawke look short? And then it's like, it's because Hammerstein was 6'4" and he was 5 foot, and that kind of plays into the kind of dynamic. And then Simon Delaney was saying that he himself isn't 6'4", so he had lifts in his shoes, and he was just saying all that stuff is so fun as an actor, to be just doing all that kind of like immersion. And I think that's partially why you just feel like you're watching a night unfold. Like, there's only one set. There's basically like the downstairs of a bar.
It was shot in Ireland as well.
Shot in Ireland, separate room of a bar, and then like the stairs that are going up to a party that we like never quite get to. I do think we should go to spoilers,
which is
though.
so thematically perfect.
Yeah, it's so
because
good.
he's not invited. He's invited, but he's not like, he's just outside of this. He's always just outside.
Yeah.
And it's like his best friend is the barman, played brilliantly by Bobby Cannavale.
Yeah, he was brilliant. I love him. I love to see him behind the bar. I just think it's so interesting as well, because like he's the character is so agitated and like just won't stop talking, and you are also just like, at one point I was like, I really want Ethan Hawke to stop talking now. Like, I'm sick of listening to this character, but we're supposed to feel annoyed by him, like he's being annoying. And I find that really interesting as well, because he's just like verbal diarrhea. He's just so like highly strung, like in the evening, and he's so trying to like write his own lore and like cement himself as the star as well. And it's just, yeah, it's brilliant. It's like real old Hollywood vibes as well.
Right, well, we go to Spoiler Street then.
Yeah, so you may hear a quick ad and we will be back with full spoilers.
Okay, full spoilers now for the movie Blue Moon. There's so many good scenes in this. The scene with them on the staircase,
amazing, yeah,
just amazing. That's where I really felt like, you know what I loved when they first meet Andrew Scott. You just get the sense he wants nothing to do with him. He's a bit of a nuisance, but he's throwing him a bone.
Yeah.
When he's on the stairs, he says this beautiful line where he's like, I owe my entire career to you, Larry.
Like,
why would you have to ask to send me
like
something?
Larry, they met when Larry was 23 and he was 17.
Like, it's so difficult. He's got so much love for this man, but he just can't work with him anymore. That is,
and this is what it's
hard,
like to be in a relationship with somebody like who's in addiction.
Yeah.
And they're remembering things differently. He's talking about the fact that like he reckons he actually wrote the lyrics to like one of the songs that, and Ethan Hawke's character is like, you didn't write those lyrics, and he's like, I did. Like, that was fascinating to me. And that he probably let him have his name on the lyrics because he didn't want to like embarrass him. And he's saying like, you know, you never showed up, you were drunk, I can't work with you for drinking. And then Ethan Hawke tries to like cheers him with a glass of champagne, and Andrew Scott literally jumps back and he's like, I'm not drinking with you. And that's what you would be like with an alcoholic. Like, you would be so freaked out if they tell you they're sober and then they try and have a drink with you.
I love, exactly right. And it's all those little touches that fill in the years in your own mind between these two.
Yeah.
They felt so lived in as a couple. And Simon Delaney said they'd only met like a few days before. Like, it's incredible. That's such pros.
Yeah, such pros. The thing that the film opened on, which I wasn't sure at the beginning, and I wonder what you felt of it. So it actually opens on
the actual Oklahoma. Yeah.
No, it opens on him dying in the alley.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then it's like 7 months previous. So you open with it. To me, that it often doesn't work for me when there's something's foreshadowed. But because I kind of realised fairly quickly we were spending the whole film in one scene, which I hadn't realised before. It suddenly was this awful foreshadowing. You're like, we're watching him talk about the fact that he's going to write a new play and he's got all these ideas and he's in love, but we know that he's going to like fall over in a drunken stupor and like die of pneumonia from like passing out in the rain. And it just added such a sad tinge. And I think it was a good idea. And it's just sad. Like, you know, he's such a talented man, and like alcohol's a terrible thing. And I just like, I can't imagine like being in that artistic space where like your partner's moved on and they're creating this, you know, biggest show ever, with somebody else, and you're like on the sidelines.
Oh, the pain, and he plays it so well. This sort of performative, like, joy and enthusiasm.
Yeah, but he can't help himself. He's like, it's amazing, it's a hit, and then he's like,
he goes too far.
And then he goes overboard complimenting it. But then, as soon as he has him on his own, he's making digs about it being kind of. He doesn't use the word shallow, but words like that, where he's really nasty about it. Then
he is,
to Andrew Scott,
and he hates the exclamation mark. Like there's a lot of. I just think like this film is laugh out loud funny. I thought I laughed so much. The audience was with it. I think it's so good.
And
it's
then
so sharp.
It's some sad, like, I guess, like, obviously it's set in the 40s when, like, homophobia was rife. If being gay wasn't even illegal, I don't know what was happening in the States at that time legally. But he's a man who's, like, grappling with his sexuality. He gets really upset when Elizabeth asks him if he's, like, into men. He's got a lot going on, and then he himself has told everyone that he's, like, throwing a party that night in his apartment, and it's like, why would you be throwing a party in your own apartment when it's somebody else? And he's hired a band.
I'm so glad they never showed us what that, because we all know what it's going to be in our head, but thank God they didn't show us.
The character of Elizabeth's fascinating, and I'm glad at the end they told us the piece about the letters, and it made me think of Napoleon and his wife and all the letters that inspired that film. But I had been like, these are strange details, and this is like a strange character, but it's actually drawn from real life, which makes more sense. Like Margaret Qualley's so enigmatic, and like she's such a screen presence that she was like I think the perfect casting for it. But also it's so sad because it's really, I'd love to read the letters, and I wonder where they found them, and I now need to do a deep dive. But it seems like he was kind of getting off on her, talking about like sex exploits with other men, but then he also wanted her to marry. Like, he didn't know what he wanted with her. Like, they had a very confusing relationship. It was kind of mentor, also like friend, like almost like gal pal vibes, and also he was like madly in love with her. I believe he was. I believe he was. Do you think that he? I mean, who knows what his. I think he actually was in love with her. Oh, I think he was in love with her, and was like the heartbreak in his eyes. He was in love with her, like he was friend zoned. Beautiful, like glamorous young woman, and he's so fascinated by her, and he's kind of purged himself. Like he talks about himself to everyone, but then he says he never talks about himself to her, and he just exists to listen to her. But I mean, it definitely seems more like a kind of friendship love. Yeah. But like it's just like on the same night, and whether or not it happened, because I'm sure I don't know if this was in the letters, but it's like on the same night he gets dumped by her, and his writing partner moves on to like bigger and better things. It's just, I'm really glad they made this film, because I think it's lovely to give him a spotlight, but I also think they didn't necessarily like spotlight him in the best way. Well, it doesn't. It's warts and all. Yeah. And that is the way to present these. Yeah, and it is really sad. I mean, it's an impressive feat that a movie can make you empathize for a 47-year-old 5-foot man getting rejected by a 20-year-old. I know, because normally it's like the biggest red flag to my book. Like imagine that man. Imagine like and he's her mentor as well. Imagine exactly. Imagine a man in a position of power smoking a cigar in a back room with a young student. I know. And we're feeling sorry for him. It's because he just felt gay. Like, it didn't really feel romantic. And even when she rejected him, he was really kind. Like, she rejected him, and he still introduced her to Andrew Scott. Yeah. He did what he said he would. Oh, that hurt. That hurt. He really did it, and he wished them well. And I mean, he made the jab about the wife, which was very funny. But I think he didn't do what I would typically expect of a man in that situation, is to like lash out, be awful, undermine her. Yeah. He was like, she's fabulous, everyone loves her, I love her. And again, that's why we then liked him, like, it didn't present like we would usually expect a man to present in that situation. I think we should close out the episode on Blue Moon, because honestly it's such a beautiful song, and like I can't stop thinking about it now, and I want to go and listen to it. Yeah, and the way the movie uses it, because he hates the song, and then at the end it's so beautifully done. The way he, like, the piano player plays it at the end almost as a joke. I love that he calls him Knuckles. And he's so annoying to that piano player. The piano player's like, please introduce me to your mate, and he's like, yeah, but you want to come to my party? He's inviting the florist to his party and everything. But
what a way to end it on that, and have him kind of take a moment and
He gets
take
his moment.
stock take stock of his own past and his achievements,
I
and
know.
even the song he hated and was critical of, because he's always looking to the future. All our best things are ahead of us. He was able to stop and appreciate it.
I love that it
moment.
ended
That's a
on
lovely
him.
way to end
and he's
it.
telling the story about how the song was named, and like
Yes.
the, such a beautiful song.
Oh, it's pitch like the movie is pitch perfect.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
excellent.
just so not what I thought I was going to see tonight. But a wonderful surprise. Right, so we shall play Blue Moon. And please rate and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. We really appreciate if you'd follow us, leave a rating, and come over to Patreon if you want to hear us talk about lots of TV and retro movies.
Yeah, we just watched All the President's Men, which was our latest retro movie watch, and shortly we're going to be putting up the next open round for suggestions. So all our lovely patrons in there
And the
suggest
new-
movies, and you get to vote for what you want us to watch.
We're going to watch also the new Vince Gilligan TV show.
Yeah, it's called Pluribus.
Yeah, so we're going to be watching that.
We're gonna
and
be
of
watching that and
course,
talking about it.
we're going to be talking about Celebrity Traders UK. So come over and listen to us talk about the amazing season finale
Yes.
of that show.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Blue moon, you saw me standing alone
Wise guy.
without a dream in my heart, without a love of my own.